I'm restoring a rudder on my sailing dinghy, and I have this cheek assembly that is a piece of cast aluminum that goes over the rudder and it swivels on it. I've already tried polishing it and did a little bit of wire brush work, but it's a cast piece and it has little depressions where the casting wasn't perfect. And so I really think something like sandblasting or soda blasting, because it's aluminum, is the way to clean this. So I was ready to drive to Harbor Freight and buy a upgraded compressor from the one I have, and a $100 soda blaster, and a $50 bag of soda media. I drove there, they didn't have the compressor, they didn't have a soda blaster, and the media they had was the extra large, not the medium. So I'm going to save some money maybe, and I went and bought the Amazon Basics sandblasting gun for 18 bucks. So I don't know if it's compatible with soda medium. I figure, you know, you're blasting particles and powder out, so it should work with just about anything you throw in there. It has a metal tip instead of the ceramic tip that the soda blasters have, but I don't need it to last for very long. You know, it's for this piece here, and at 18 bucks, I figure it was worth, you know, the test. It comes with a relatively good manual. It has the good warnings inside about, hey, silica dust will kill you and it'll hurt badly while you're dying. So don't use, you know, more than 1% silica dust, always use respirators, etc. Obviously, because this is the cheapest thing you could buy, it does not include the little adapter to plug into your hose. So, you know, it'd be classy if they included this. I realized, you know, they're saving $1 every time they don't do it. You need to provide your own Teflon tape and little snap fit adapter if you want to attach it to a regular air hose. So I'm going to go plug it in to my regular old small compressor that I've rigged up an extra 5-gallon tank for a little bit of extra capacity, and we're going to try soda blasting this thing and see how it works out. Alright, when you put the Teflon tape on a threaded insert like this, you want to go opposite of your threads so that when you thread it in, it's kind of pulling the tape in the same direction and not unrolling the tape. You also want to keep the tape off the very top, so you don't want to get any tape inside of your air channels there. So I go around once trying to hold it to itself, and then a second time to build up height, maybe a third time if you don't feel it's thick enough, but I suspect 2 is enough, going to be enough here. Let me put this in finger tight to begin with and hit it with a wrench to tighten it up a little bit more. Of course, because they have this plastic fancy thing sticking up, you can't turn your wrench around. You got to take little bites as you tighten it up. Also, because they're super cheap, once you put that thing on, you can't store it in the box anymore. This is a big complaint I have with air tools, is I just want to stick them back in the box when I'm not using them, and you can't do it once you've added the thing they don't include. Of course, you need a supply of soda media. You can buy this in 50-pound bags for 47 bucks or 1-pound boxes for $1.07. Just so the wife doesn't get mad at me, I'm going to replace her baking soda box with the even better one that's designed to put in fridge and freezers. They could have made this opening just a little bit bigger, because even using the box here to try to get that in, it's not easy to do this without spilling anything around the edges. I think you're really going to want to have a funnel. For 18 bucks, obviously they don't provide a funnel. Alright, I have this thing on a stick so I don't get my fingers too close to the blasting media. I have my full respirator and eye protection. Let's give this a shot. Well, I ran about 1.5 pounds of soda blast media through that thing, and then my poor little compressor stopped turning on. I'm hoping it's just a thermal cutoff and it'll recover after 15 or 20 minutes. Alright, so rigging up this stick was probably unnecessary. The soda blast media looked like just leather gloves I'd be fine with. It kind of cleaned things. I'm not terribly impressed by the amount of cleaning it did and didn't do with my 1 3/4 pound or 1.5 pound of soda I ran through there before my compressor shut down.
My duty cycle is pretty slow. I had to wait for my compressor to run quite a bit. Obviously, with a 10 cubic foot per minute compressor, my results would go faster. I don't know if they'd go better, but they'd go faster. So it's gotten, you know, a kind of a matte surface as opposed to a glossy surface. And it's sort of cleaned some of those interior areas out a little bit. But there's still places where I blasted and didn't really get all of the varnish off the very edges there. But it's not as good as I would have liked for paying 20 bucks for it, or 23 or so if you include the soda and the extra adapter to hook it up to the air compressor. But it definitely improved things a little bit, and it's not too bad for 20 bucks. Definitely a procedure you want to do outdoors. I got soda all over me. Take a shower after this. Don't lick yourself because it tastes bad. Main takeaway for this Amazon Basics sandblaster is that it works. It blasts my soda media. You definitely want a compressor that does more than 2 cubic feet per minute, because I'm spending a lot more time waiting for my compressor to recover than actually blasting things. And I use this media really quickly. You know, in 13-15 minutes I went through like 1.5 pounds of this stuff before my compressor overheated. So it's useful for small parts where you don't need too much blast media, and it's more useful if you have a bigger compressor so you don't have to wait around as long. But you can make it work with a small compressor, especially if you have a bigger tank on it. So for 18 bucks, I'd say it's passable. It looks like it'll get the job done. I think if I had sand or some type of harder media, it might knock off things faster than the soda I'm using, but because I'm on aluminum, I don't want to knock things off too quickly. So all in all, I think it was worth the 18 bucks, but obviously, you know, professional systems might work a little better. All right, on the plus side, looks like it was just a thermal cutoff. Because the compressor's working again.